I really don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Like, everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequences.
The courtroom was supposed to be a quiet, respectful place, a space where grown-ups calmly solved serious problems through rules and reason. But on this particular day, things were far from peaceful. What was meant to be a standard custody hearing between Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert turned into something much more emotional and painful. Both Teyana and Iman sat on opposite sides of the courtroom, each surrounded by their lawyers. Neither of them spoke, but the tension between them filled the room. Their eyes stayed fixed on the judge, who sat patiently listening as legal documents were passed back and forth. But then, something unexpected happened, something that no one in the courtroom could have prepared for. A soft, unsure voice broke through the seriousness. It was their young daughter, speaking privately to the judge in a closed-door session. She wasn't trying to argue or accuse anyone. She simply asked, in the most innocent tone, "Why am I only?" That one small question froze everything. The judge, in the middle of writing notes, stopped moving. Teyana covered her mouth in shock, and Iman sat stunned, his eyes blinking rapidly. It wasn't what she said, it was what it meant. A child, watching everything unfold, didn't understand why her parents, two people she loved, couldn't love each other enough to stop fighting. In that single question, she revealed how deeply this battle had hurt her. This moment turned everything upside down. What had started as a legal disagreement had suddenly become a very real emotional crisis. It wasn't about custody papers anymore. It was about the heart of a little girl who was simply trying to make sense of a broken home. Teyana and Iman used to be seen as one of the most loving celebrity couples. They walked red carpets together, shared happy moments on social media, and even wore coordinated outfits. To the outside world, their relationship seemed perfect. But now, their dream had turned into a courtroom nightmare. They weren't arguing over fame or gossip. They were fighting for time with their daughter, and it was tearing everyone apart. Inside the courtroom, things had already felt heavy. Both parents looked exhausted, their bodies stiff and their eyes weary. Their lawyers whispered behind folders, preparing arguments. Reporters waited outside the courtroom for the latest update. But what happened inside wasn't something anyone could have predicted. And it certainly wasn't something anyone wanted to hear. During the private session, their daughter sat nervously with a small stuffed animal in her hands. Her voice trembled as she asked, "Why does Daddy get everything? Why am I only?" It was such a simple question, but it carried so much weight. It exposed the pain she had been holding inside, a pain no court document could ever describe. Even the judge, who had managed to stay calm throughout weeks of bitter arguments, looked deeply shaken. This wasn't just about legal rights. This was about a child who felt left out, unwanted, and confused. And that realization shifted the entire focus of the case. The judge addressed both parents, speaking in a firm, emotional tone that made the whole room go silent. "This isn't about either of you anymore," he said. "It's about her. And she's hurting." He went on to say that their choices, both inside and outside the courtroom, had made their daughter feel abandoned. "She thinks she's not enough for you both. That's not okay." Teyana silently wiped away tears, staring down at her lap. Iman didn't look up, his jaw clenched, avoiding the judge's eyes. The atmosphere in the room had changed completely. The conversation was no longer about who was right, it was about how to fix what was broken. Up until that moment, Iman's legal team had worked hard to portray him as the more dependable parent. They had pushed for full custody, arguing that he could provide a more stable home, but that one heartbreaking question from their daughter changed the whole narrative. "Being stable doesn't mean cutting the other parent out," the judge reminded them. "A safe home takes both parents, not just one." Iman's lawyers tried to recover, brushing off the emotional moment, but it was already too late. The image of Iman as the calm, emotionally secure parent had started to crack. No legal strategy could undo what his daughter had revealed. Then came another turning point. Teyana's lawyer stood up and made a powerful accusation. They said that Iman had been keeping Teyana from seeing her daughter, ignoring her messages, refusing to open the gate when she came by, and even making her wait outside his house for over an hour. "This isn't just blocking visits," the attorney said. "This is trying to erase her." A loud gasp filled the courtroom. Teyana didn't say a word, but her face said enough. Iman quickly denied everything, shaking his head, but the damage had already been done. The balance of the case was shifting, and not in his favor. Outside the courthouse, the story spread fast. A short video leaked online, a child's voice, soft and sad, saying, "I love mommy and daddy. Why can't they just stop fighting?" It wasn't confirmed if it was their daughter, but most people believed it was. That tiny clip was shared thousands of times across TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. The internet reacted with heartbreak. People begged both parents to stop the fighting, for their daughter's sake. The custody battle was no longer just a celebrity story, it had become a public outcry for compassion and peace. Soon, celebrities also began to speak out. Taraji P. Henson tweeted, "This baby didn't ask for this." Her words spread quickly, echoed by other stars who expressed sadness and concern for the child caught in the middle. One famous figure wrote, "Divorce is already painful. But when kids are involved, the pain runs even deeper." Fans, too, started to see the situation differently. The online arguments about who was right and who was wrong gave way to a shared concern for the child. It no longer mattered which parent had the stronger case, it was clear who was suffering the most. The child had become the center of the story, and her pain was impossible to ignore. What once felt like celebrity drama now felt real, raw, and tragic. The shouting, the finger-pointing, the court battles, it all faded into the background. What remained was one child's silent plea to have her family back. Later that night, as news continued to spread online, Teyana broke her silence with a single Instagram post. It showed nothing but a black background with white text that read, "Fighting for love. Fighting for peace. Fighting for her." People had mixed reactions. Some saw it as a heartfelt message from a mother trying to make things right. Others questioned whether it was just for publicity. Comments poured in, some encouraging her, others criticizing. One follower wrote, "We hear you. We feel your pain." Another said, "Then stop making it about yourself. This is about your daughter." The public couldn't agree on what to believe anymore. Every post, every statement became part of a larger story, one where it was hard to tell what was honest and what was planned. Then, just as things seemed to settle, Iman finally broke his silence too. After weeks of staying quiet, letting his legal team speak for him, he stepped into the conversation himself. And with that, the next chapter of this painful and complicated story was about to unfold. Iman Shumpert had stayed mostly quiet while the custody battle with Teyana Taylor played out in the media. He had let his lawyers and body language speak for him, never showing much emotion in public. But then, he finally broke his silence with a single tweet. It wasn't long or dramatic. He simply wrote, "I will never stop protecting my child no matter what narrative is out there." That one sentence said a lot without saying too much. To some people, it sounded like he was directly responding to Teyana's emotional Instagram post. Others thought he was trying to paint himself as the calm, protective parent, someone focused only on doing what's right for his daughter. His message didn't have anger or blame in it. Instead, it had a quiet firmness. That calm tone impressed some fans who thought he was taking the high road. But not everyone bought it. Some people online started to wonder if Iman's message was really sincere, or if it had been carefully planned by his team. One user tweeted, "Is this really him talking, or just a PR move?" Another replied, "At least he's not yelling on social media. That has to count for something." And just like that, Iman's message turned into a new debate. Was he showing strength, or was he simply trying to control how people saw him? What had started as a courtroom battle between two parents had now turned into something much bigger. It became a public fight over who people should believe and who seemed more trustworthy. Teyana and Iman weren't giving interviews or holding press conferences. They weren't even really talking to each other directly. Instead, they were dropping small, vague messages, quotes in Instagram stories, short tweets, and quiet jabs that the public had to interpret like clues. Meanwhile, the person at the heart of all of this, their daughter, stayed completely out of sight. She wasn't trending online. Her face wasn't in the news. But her presence was always felt. Every time someone posted a comment, every time a fan chose a side, it all came back to her. She wasn't saying anything, but she didn't have to. Her simple question in court, "Why am I only?" had already changed everything. That small, emotional question had cut through months of legal arguments. It had opened everyone's eyes to the real issue. This wasn't just about who got more custody time or who looked better in court. It was about a little girl who just wanted her parents to stop fighting. The judge had made that clear. He reminded both Iman and Teyana that this wasn't about their pride or their pain. It was about their child, who felt confused, caught in the middle, and alone. Now, the world is watching even more closely. The spotlight is still on, but the mood has changed. This isn't just gossip anymore. It's not about fashion, fame, or celebrity lifestyle. It's about the quiet, painful cost of turning a family's private heartbreak into public drama. Fans who once argued over who was right or wrong are now taking a step back. They're realizing that this little girl is growing up in a world where her family is being pulled apart while millions of strangers watch. What was once entertainment now feels too real, too personal. Teyana's Instagram post, where she simply wrote, "Fighting for love. Fighting for peace. Fighting for her," hit a nerve. Some people thought it came from a place of deep emotion. Others weren't so sure. But no matter how you read it, it showed a mother who was trying to hold on to something that felt like it was slipping away. And then came Iman's tweet. Calm, brief, and carefully chosen. Was it real? Was it a strategy? The public couldn't agree. But what everyone could agree on was this: their daughter's voice, so small, so honest, had done what no lawyer or post ever could. It reminded everyone what really matters. Now, as the case continues, the pressure is building. Will Iman and Teyana be able to set aside their pain and protect their child's peace? Or is there more pain ahead? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: this is no longer just a legal case. It's a test of love, maturity, and whether two people can stop fighting long enough to hear the voice that matters most.